Welcome back, Norfolk enjoyers. I'm Steph.
And I'm Andrew.
And you are listening to the Norfolk and Good Enjoying Norfolk podcast. You can normally find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or at enjoyingnorfolk.co.uk.
Or roaming the streets of Norfolk.
Or roaming the streets of Norfolk. Make us sound like we're vagrants. Just generally enjoying Norfolk.
Yes.
When restrictions allow.
Of course, yeah.
We're not rule breakers.
We're not.
No, indeed. March is quite an exciting month if you are female because it's Women's History Month.
It is, yes.
The 8th of March was International Women's Day.
Yeah.
And this Sunday is Mother's Day.
Oh no. Only joking. I am fully sorted on all those fronts.
Brilliant. So we thought we'd have a little look at some famous Norfolk women. And what we quickly discovered, well, to be honest, we knew this anyway.
Yeah, we did, yes.
Is that Norfolk produces quite a high calibre of woman. The bar set high with Norfolk females. We're a tough lot.
There's many, isn't there?
There are some fabulous names. So if we wanted to do a quick sort of name check of some of the more, the well-known ones, we've got Warrior Queen Boudica.
Going back a bit there.
Going back, but also she's, setting it high from the beginning. She set the bar high,
She sorted those Romans out, didn't she?
She did for a while.
Yeah.
And unfortunately it didn't last for her. But we still remember her nationally and internationally. And if you go to the Castle Museum, there's quite a lot about the Iceni or Iceni culture, which she was the warrior queen of. Mother Julian of Norwich.
Of course, yes, who we've mentioned.
We talked about her in the podcast episodes about books and literature because...
Yeah, she sealed herself up in a very tiny room and wrote the book, The Revelation of Divine Love.
Indeed, yes, she was the first woman to be published in English.
I didn't know you were testing me today. Crikey.
Then Edith Cavell. Edith Cavell?
Edith Cavell.
Yeah, obviously. She was a World War I nurse and heroine who was unfortunately shot by firing squad.
Yes.
And she comes from Swardston. Yes. Just up the road. We've actually done a little bit of exploring the Edith Cavell Trail, haven't we? Yeah. Which is quite nice. And had a look at the church.
Mentioned it a few times in some other of our podcasts with walks.
Yeah.
And
Swardston Church, she was baptised there and her name is on the War Memorial.
Yes. And she's buried at the cathedral, isn't she?
Yeah, her grave is at the cathedral. Yeah.
There's a
memorial
around
as well,
the side, isn't it? Around the back end of the cathedral there is... her grave, and there's a memorial at the outside on Tombland.
Near Erpingham Gate, isn't it? Is it near Erpingham Gate?
That's Erpingham Gate, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And she famously said something like, patriotism is not enough. You must not have any hate for anyone, or something like that. So, very wise woman. Anna Sewell, who we've also discussed.
We have in our literature podcast.
We did, because she wrote Black Beauty.
She did.
She did. And while we were talking about Anna Sewell, we completely forgot to mention that she actually, not only did she come from Great Yarmouth, and we kind of covered that
Born and lived for a bit in Great Yarmouth, didn't she? And the house is there, and you can go to the house and everything.
Yeah, but she actually wrote Black Beauty at a house in Old Catton, or Catton in Norwich.
Yeah, Old Catton, I would think.
Now Sewell House, I think, with the blue plaque. And you can go and see the house.
Yeah.
So we probably should have mentioned that in the previous episode, but we omitted to mention that.
We should go and see the house.
Yes,
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Elizabeth Fry. Apparently, Elizabeth Fry was a major driving force between behind new legislation to make the treatment of prisoners more humane, and she was supported by Queen Victoria in her efforts.
All right.
And
very good.
She was depicted on the Bank of England £5 note.
Very good.
Hail from Norfolk.
Yeah.
So there, Elizabeth Fry. Also, we've got Olivia Colman.
Yeah, yes, of course.
A more recent name.
Yeah.
Oscar winning.
Yes.
Award winning. Yeah.
Yeah. All over the telly box.
She really is. Yeah, she's a very good actress, though, isn't
yes, she is.
Olive Edis, who I think is an interesting lady. So she was a photographer, a female photographer, in the times when professional female photography wasn't really that commonplace. I think it's probably fair to say. And she had her first studio in Sheringham, which was probably even less commonplace at the time. Female photographer with a studio in Sheringham.
Sure, she photographed a lot of fishermen, didn't she?
She did, yes. We saw her exhibition. Was it at the Cromer Museum?
We saw it at the Crome one, but I think it was at the castle as well.
She did. She took pictures of local Norfolk fisherfolk, but she also took pictures of royalty, politicians, influential women, and she was Britain's first official female war photographer in 1919.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How interesting is that?
Really trailblazing.
I need to see more of the images that she took, actually.
Yeah, you have seen a lot. We've seen her exhibitions, her work quite a lot. I think her work is quite, there's quite a signature to it.
Yeah.
It's quite recognisable, but it's almost like, it's sort of documentary photography. Which is presumably why she went on to do war photography. I haven't seen much of her war photographs, actually.
No, it'd be interesting, So interesting to see.
Definitely worth exploring more. So just in that little sort of, that handful of women from Norfolk, there's some amazing names there.
Yeah, definitely.
What we thought we'd do this week, however, is talk about some Norfolk women who are famous, but perhaps lesser known names than some of those that we've just mentioned.
Yeah, I think that's very important, isn't it?
I think so, because a lot of people will know, obviously, about Boudica, Mother Julian of Norwich, Edith Cavell, that sort of thing. Not so many will know about some of these other names, hopefully. So hopefully you'll find them sort of interesting. Andrew, you've got a couple of very fabulous and famous Norfolk women that you wanted to mention. I
have been, yet again, travelling back through time. Like Norfolk's very own Doctor Who.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I know. What a vision. The first lady I'd like to mention is Margaret Elizabeth Fountaine.
Okay.
Who was from Norwich. Mm-hmm. She was born in 1862 and died in 1940. Mm-hmm. But she's a butterfly expert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And she basically travelled the world.
Yeah.
Studying, breeding, looking at larvae of butterfly.
Okay.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, and now it relates back to many visits we've had to the Castle Museum, is that her life works, which is something like 22,000 butterflies, are displayed in the Castle Museum.
Really?
Yeah.
That's probably their entire collection of butterflies, isn't it? I should
probably,
imagine.
yeah.
It's 22,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. That's her collection, and her sketchbooks are in the Natural History Museum in London.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How fabulous.
Yeah, but
that's interesting.
But she was apparently she was fearless in her travels.
Okay.
And she only rode a horse. Mm-hmm. She didn't ride side saddle.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And apparently she had a travelling companion, a Syrian man. Mm-hmm. And he was called Kahali Nami, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry if I got the pronunciation wrong there. But yeah, and the collection in the Norwich Museum is called the Fountaine Nami Collection.
Oh, okay. After the two of them.
After the two of them, yeah.
Oh, that's
and she travelled for many years with them, and apparently she donated a sealed box to the Castle Museum as well, which wasn't allowed to be opened until 1978.
Okay, that's very specific.
I know.
But she died in 1940.
1940.
Okay, and what did they find when did they open it?
They opened it.
Yeah.
And inside were all her manuscripts, handwritten manuscripts. Of all the journeys and everything, saying all about her life.
Wow.
So that's fascinating.
How fabulous. So sort of butterfly-leaning female Darwin almost. How interesting. Sort of naturalist. Fabulous. That's great. That's a really fabulous, fantastic Norfolk woman. Thank you, Andrew.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Very much so. Another fantastic Norfolk woman who I have heard of, but actually didn't quite realise how fabulous she was, is Amelia Opie.
Yes.
She's got a very understated statue on Opie Street above what was a gelato shop.
Yeah, it still is, I think, if you look up.
Yes.
It's,
no, I don't know if it's a gelato shop still.
Yeah, it is. The statue's still there. So is the...
shop. Yeah. Okay, fabulous. Yeah, so it's quite an understated, simple little statue, isn't it? But while we were sort of doing a little bit of reading around for this episode and for posts that we were doing on social media about International Women's Day, I read a bit more about Amelia Opie, and it turns out that she was a poet and a writer.
Yes.
But quite sort of trailblazing in her work, quite forward thinking. So a lot of her work featured things like themes about women's rights, but also anti-slavery, because she was a prominent abolitionist.
Okay, yeah.
Which were people that wanted to bring about the abolition of slavery. Yeah. She worked with Anna Gurney to form a ladies' anti-slavery society in Norwich.
Oh.
Yeah, and they organised a petition of almost 200,000 names that they presented to Parliament. I know, it's pretty impressive in that day and age.
Yeah.
One of her works was called The Black Man's Lament, or How to Make Sugar, and that was an anti-slavery poem which she published in 1826. The Slavery Abolition Act was passed in England in 1833.
Yeah.
And in 1840, Opie went to the World Anti-Slavery Convention in London. And at the time, they had a commemorative painting of the convention.
Yeah.
Now, she was one of the few women to be included in this painting, which is a pretty big deal. Most of the painting is sort of 97% men, and there's a tiny group of women in the bottom right-hand corner, and among those is Amelia Opie.
Oh, and you can see, I presume you can see it's online and things like that.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. So, so that's quite fantastic. So she was very, very forward-thinking, like her peers, Elizabeth Fry and Edith Cavell. She was a very kind person who thought of others as well as herself, very altruistic. Yeah. She died in 1853, and she is buried in Gildencroft Quaker Cemetery in Norwich.
Oh, okay.
Which we were saying is somewhere we need to explore. We need to go and have a look at that. Who else have you been reading about this weekend?
Well, related to Amelia Opie, I've got to mention Lucy Cecilia Brightwell.
Okay.
Now she was born in Norwich, and she actually lived at 3 Surrey Street. And if you don't know it, it's the NatWest Bank.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
There, so she lived there.
Yeah.
She produced a lot of etchings, and she had those in her father's book, which was called Fauna of East Norfolk. So, might have to check that out.
Yeah.
But mainly, she did the biography of Amelia Opie. She was her friend, and she did her biography.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and just taking you back to 1647, when Mary Chapman was born in Norwich. And Mary Chapman, she, when you go along Bethel Street, you've got the old hospital there at Bethel Street. And she built that hospital, not physically, but she built that hospital there. And it was the first purpose-built hospital for mental health in England.
Okay. Wow,
yeah.
That's really interesting.
So you've got
is it opposite the cathedral behind that wall? Is that it?
Yeah, well, if you're on Bethel Street,
yeah,
and you've got what is the police, Norwich Police, and then you've got the new school, which was the old fire station.
Yeah,
it's opposite the old fire station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that building there.
And it was the first hospital dedicated to mental health provision.
Yeah.
Again, forward thinking.
For the poor, mainly, as well, who couldn't get
help otherwise. Wow,
yeah, definitely
interesting.
And then I'll bring you a bit further forward to a lady called Sarah Glover, who was lived at 91 Pottergate.
Oh, I like this. I like this story. Yes. This is a good one.
Now she was a musician and a teacher.
Yeah.
And I think she set up her own school in Norwich, but she wanted to simplify learning music, and she sorted out a notation system.
Yeah.
For teaching.
For teaching music.
For teaching music. And it was called the Solfa Ladder, the Norwich Solfa Ladder.
Okay.
Okay, and it was published in 1837 by Gerald's.
Yeah, fabulous.
And that sort of moved on. Apparently, it was lent to somebody, which has been a little bit naughty, and they messed around with it without her permission, and turned into what is commonly known now as the tonic sol-fa notation.
Which is
the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Yay! Dear from The Sound of Music.
Yes.
Yay! That's a really great fact. I love that.
That really is. I'm from Norwich.
Yeah.
That's
I love
amazing.
the fact it was called the Norwich
Solfa Ladder.
Yeah. And then it was obviously changed. But I love the fact that its origins were in Norwich. And she lived. Did you say she lived on Pottergate?
She lived 91 Pottergate, and I think there is again a plaque there, and you can see the house and everything. So it's really nice that you can hear about this and then go along and look at where these people lived.
So if you're a fan of if you're a fan of music, if you're a fan of the sound of music, if you're a fan of history, local history, if you're a fan of women in history, then that is a really fantastic story. I love that. That's brilliant. Thank you, Andrew.
Next up, I'm going to mention three ladies. Mm-hmm. The first is Mabel Clarkson. Mm-hmm. And Mabel Clarkson, it was really interesting. She was, for many years, the only woman in the council chamber at Norwich. Yeah. She was Liberal in her political leanings. Mm-hmm. But then she moved on to be the second Lady Mayor of Norwich. In 1930.
Yeah. And who was do you know who the first was?
Yes, I do. I do.
Thought you might. I'm quite glad you do.
No, I don't really know. The first Lady Mayor, and you'll know the name, is Ethel Mary Colburn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in 1923.
And she was the first Lady Mayor?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
First Lady Mayor.
Brilliant.
And sort of on the political side of things, and the first woman MP in Norfolk was Dorothy Jewson.
First MP, do you mean woman MP generally, not just in Norfolk? She was from Norfolk.
No, first woman MP for Norfolk.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. And she was, then, when she was elected, there was only 7 in the UK.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Fabulous. And what year was that?
She was Labour, by the way, and that was in 1923 as well.
Wow, that's amazing.
When Ethel Mary Coleman was the first mayor.
That's quite early doors. I love that about Norwich and Norfolk. Again, we mentioned this before when we were talking about the literature and books and authors. We're a progressive little place, aren't we?
I know. It's quite amazing when you dig down. There's got to be
something in the soil. No pun intended with the digging down there. No, but there must be something in the air because we really do set standards here. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And I think she was the Jewson, so it was a big Norfolk family as well. Coal merchants, I think.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Brilliant. Because we are talking about Norfolk women in this episode, we wanted to talk to an actual Norfolk woman, not just me. Not me.
You're very famous, though, aren't you?
A different woman to me. But before we get into that... and my gran, we know lots of Norfolk women. But before we get into those Norfolk women, coming forward a bit, I wanted to speak to mention a more recent famous Norfolk woman, and this is quite astounding actually. I didn't really know quite how fabulous she was. I knew of her as well, and that is Kathy Dennis. Yes. Kathy Dennis, so pop sensation from the 90s or late 80s, early 90s, and that's kind of. I sort of knew she did that, and I knew she did some writing, but I didn't quite realise just how incredible she was. So just to sort of set the scene a bit. So Kathy Dennis was she went to Taverham High School, and when she was discovered at the time, she was working at Norwich Union. And she sort of started as a vocalist with D-Mob with their single "Come On and Get My Love," which you might remember. And then she had a couple of solo hits herself that did really, really well. But where she's really found fame and prowess is actually writing pop songs.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so she's written 8 UK number ones, and she's won an incredible 5 Ivor Novello Awards.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Did not know that.
But listen to some of the songs that she either wrote or co-wrote, okay? Can't Get You Out of My Head, kind of, Yes. She co-wrote that, which is obviously a massive, massive hit. Rachel Stevens' Sweet Dreams, My LAX. She wrote several songs for people like S Club 7. She wrote Britney Spears' hit song Toxic.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And she also wrote Katy Perry's smash hit I Kissed a Girl. She co-wrote it, I should say. I Kissed a Girl, yeah. So phenomenal. So she's had an absolutely stellar career in music. And in 2006, she actually won the UK Music Industry's Woman of the Year Award. Huh. There you go. Kathy
Norwich.
Dennis. Fabulous.
Well, Taverham.
So we mentioned just now that we were going to have a chat with a bona fide Norfolk woman.
Yes.
And so we're going to have a little chat with Bryony Diarth, who is Norfolk born and bred. Norfolk businesswoman and publican. Alongside her husband Nick, she owns and runs a lot of pubs within Norwich city centre. Yeah, we thought we'd catch up with Bryony and just find out a bit about what it's like to be a Norfolk woman, and also to obviously be working within her industry over the past year.
Hi, Steph. Hi, Andrew.
Hiya.
Lovely to speak to you. Hi.
Brilliant. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yes, enjoying, feeling like we're finally getting to the end of what has been a very long year.
Indeed.
Yeah, so Bryony, I was just wondering if you could tell us a bit more about yourself and what you do here in lovely Norfolk.
Okay, so I have lived in Norfolk my entire life. In fact, I think I've lived in about a 3-mile radius for my entire life. I think driving out from Norwich to Heatherset is a sort of wild exploration sometimes. So I grew up in Eton, and with my mum and dad when I was very young, and then just my mum when I was a bit older. Went to school, went to Coleman School. Good choice.
Yeah.
And then to CNS. And then I met my husband Nick when I was a near babe of 18, and he's much older than me. I've actually been a few years. Actually, that doesn't sound quite right, does it? But yeah, so met Nick when I was quite young, and we've been married for nearly 26 years now. We've got 2 grown-up children. Joe, our son, is 24 and actually got married last year and is going to make us, very excitingly, grandparents in the coming June.
Congratulations! How exciting!
Thank you, yes. So, yeah, fast-forwarding me there by a generation. Thanks for that, Joe. And our daughter Lydia, so Joe actually runs, we've got pubs which I'll come on to talk about, but Joe actually runs one of those for us.
Yeah.
Lydia, our daughter, is 22 and actually is she left school and then decided she would go back on herself. She's done loads of work and travelling for the last 4 years, but she actually started a degree course in developmental psychology at the UEA last September.
Yeah.
So fantastic, but being a slightly odd year, obviously. I mean, she's barely set foot on the campus. But one of the things we've done to keep ourselves entertained over the last year is endless walks, and she's certain that she's walked around the UEA Lake more times than she's been to a lecture or anything on campus.
As we all have, I think.
Yeah. From leaving school, I didn't really know what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I'm still not totally sure. But Nick was involved in what is our sort of longest standing pub. So I actually met him at the Unsank when I was a customer, and I was actually there on his first shift that he worked in the upstairs bar. So how romantic! And
that's very sweet.
Yeah,
it is really, isn't it? So we met there, and then he was working there, and then when I had the children, basically that was sort of my path back into a career was part-time first of all when the children were very little, and then working there and being involved in all of the business.
Yeah.
Over the years we've taken on other pubs. There've been a few that have come and gone along the way, but we now have the Unthanked, the Trafford Arms, the Chambers Cocktail Company, and the William of Florence, which is the one our son runs. And excitingly, sometime this spring, hopefully, when we're allowed to open in May, we will also be opening the Red Lion Bishopgate.
Fabulous. So a new venture for you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pub, that, isn't it?
It is gorgeous. It is such a fantastic location. It's one of those pubs that whenever we mention it to anybody, they say, "Oh, the one on the river. Oh, that's so lovely." I've learned so much about the history of. It's right where Kett's Rebellion happened. Yeah. So Kett's men stopped up the hill, and then they literally came across the river on that bit of the River Wensum. So they probably came across Bishopgate Bridge, which is right outside the pub.
Yes. It's a super old bridge, isn't it?
It is beautiful. So we've been working there with the Great Hospital, who actually own the site. So they've been fantastically supportive, and they've done lots and lots of work to the sort of fabric of the building, because we all want it to be something that will be around for a long time, and something that will be like the heart of that sort of community area around there.
Obviously, working within the pub and hospitality industry, how has your experience of the past year been, Bryony?
So we were actually reflecting yesterday on kind of this time last year where we were all watching the news and wondering what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And how, it was terrifying, frankly, not knowing what was going to happen. And when we got the order, we, sat glued to the TV and got the order to close as of, a few hours later. We spent that weekend in shock, really wondering how on earth we were going to survive, what was going to happen. And we then thought it would be for a few weeks. But one furlough was announced. That was basically the most massive relief. Obviously, our sort of main concern was our staff, because we didn't have enough money to carry on paying everybody for endless months. But once that was announced, we had over 70 staff on our payroll last year, and we've got, there've been a few changes, but by and large everybody is still with us, which is just amazing.
That's great,
fantastic. And they've all been so resilient. They've bounced back, and every time we've reopened or closed and there's new regulations and new rules to adapt to, they've been absolutely brilliant. We're so proud of them and how they've kind of got through all of this and enabled us to get through it all together and still be ready and raring to reopen in a few weeks' time.
You made quite a few changes, didn't you? Obviously to the pubs, didn't
changes,
you?
Yeah, adapting to the rules. We've done a lot of work on our outside spaces where we've got them. So at the William and Florence, we have basically, in fact, there's still stuff happening there. We have turned the garden. So lots of people don't know it's actually got a garden which is kind of down a level from Unbank Road.
Yeah.
The pub is set on a hill. So the front bit people will recognise, and that's been really popular. But down below was a sort of a grassy area. So we've essentially covered half of that, and we're now having new sort of flooring, I don't know if you call it flooring outside, replacing the grass with something more suitable. That was an amazing addition for us, especially when we got to December when you couldn't meet anybody from outside your household indoors. We had some incredibly, sort of hardy customers who braved and literally sat outside while it was snowing. The day we reopened in December coincided with the first snow of the year. You couldn't make it up, really, could you? And at the Unbank, we've had for a number of years a courtyard at the back, so that's been really well used, and we've added some sort of decking and what have you in the further back in the garden. So that's also been really popular. The Trafford, out there, we don't have a huge amount of outdoor space, but again, the customers are just so keen to support us, which we really appreciate. Yes, they like to come and have something to eat and drink, but I think sometimes they're doing it as much for our benefit as they are for their own. So we created what we called the bamboo boozer at the back of the pub by screening off some areas, and people have been absolutely brilliant adapting to it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah, I visited the Unthank just before Christmas and sat outside and had a meal with some friends, and it was wonderful. And with your heaters that you had there, I was concerned, obviously, that we'd be freezing, and I was prepared to sit in my coat and scarf all evening. And actually, for at least half the evening, I didn't have my coat on. It was really quite warm and nice. It was lovely.
It's quite it's nice and sheltered there, isn't it?
It was, yeah.
But I think we do have a sort of a culture in this country of people kind of getting on with it. When we're told what we have to do, we just get on with it and make the best of it. And that's really what we tried to do. And you've got to approach it. When we knew we were going to be closed for months last year, but when we got to the sort of towards the end of that stage, we had to decide, were we kind of throwing money and time and effort into being ready to reopen, or you either do that or you throw in the towel, really. And lots of other businesses as well have just had to, the expression is pivot, isn't it? So they've had to adapt and find new ways of doing things and ways to get a bit of money through the door while they can. But overall, it was not our best year, shall we say. But it could have been a lot worse, and we do feel really grateful that our staff and our customers and all the sort of supply chain all kind of rallied together to make sure. But hopefully we are on the home straight now, and we will be learning to live with this rather than trying to avoid it. But we're well placed to do it.
Obviously, you touched on a few of your future plans with the very exciting Red Lion at Bishopgate opening later this year, quite soon this year, hopefully. So how do you sort of see the rest of this year panning out for you guys?
It is a bit tricky to know at the moment because the guidance on as to how you actually open, whether it's outside in April or inside in May, hasn't actually been published on the government website as yet. So we're sort of trying to work on what was in place last year and making assumptions about it. But we're really hoping that the expression in the hospitality industry and retail as well, I think, is pent up demand is seems to be the key word. So lots of us who can't wait to get out and meet up with people. So I think we're definitely hoping for a great summer. We all learned a bit last year, I think, about how being outside is actually really nice. You know, and as you said, Steph, you know, if you're sort of prepared to brave the elements, then there's actually a lot to be said for it. It does sort of reconnect you to nature and the world.
Obviously, being a podcast about Norfolk, can you tell us about your favourite Norfolk places and things to do?
It's so difficult. I had a feeling you'd ask me this question. I love just a bit more of a mooch kind of a day. I'm not one for. I prefer a beach when it's empty, for example. So I'm the one who'll be there when it's raining and blowing a gale, rather than on a sunny Sunday when everybody else chooses to go there. And I quite like exploring places, you know, when they're a bit closed, so later in the day or on a Sunday or whatever. I love the beaches at Waxham and Horsley because although they are busy, you do feel you don't have to walk very far to feel that you've got, you know, near enough got the coastline to yourself.
Definitely.
We loved, when our kids were younger, we loved camping. We used to go on camping holidays. That was our default holiday. But we've been to France and various places, but in Stiffkey, just being on, I don't know if you know the campsite there, just up the hill from, actually it's another Red Lion pub, isn't it? So just up the hill from there, and you can walk over there and you're straight onto the marshes and the creeks, and the kids crabbing, and you know, just the freedom that it gives. You can see for miles, and you know, the kids can run off doing that. They have such fond memories of that kind of thing as well. But personally, because I have a little bit of a tendency to be a bit of a hermit. But when I'm out and about, I quite like exploring on my own. And we went to Bristol a few years ago, and as part of going there, we downloaded some sort of, I dragged Nick around on these kind of walking tours. So, you know, finding out about old buildings and, you know, random street signs and that kind of thing. So over the last couple of years, and lockdown has given me more time than I might otherwise have had. I've actually done that with using, you know, websites in Norwich and Norfolk. So little routes where you can walk, you know, you can walk all through the city, and there's one, for example, which shows you clocks. It's all different clock faces.
Fabulous.
If you start to look up and around buildings in Norwich, there are so many. My problem is that I'm not very good at remembering the facts once I've done the walk. So I can walk around again, but if I were to point to a clock for you, I would not be able to tell you anything about it. I'd be able to tell you it was there. So, it's like a new adventure for me every time I check.
It's like a permanent state of new realisation. I love it.
I think a lot of that stems from I grew up most of my childhood. There was just me and my mum and our dogs, and we used to just. My mum was sort of kind of. She'd get home from work and she'd say, "Do you fancy doing this today?" So we go off, we drive to the beach and take the dogs for a walk. There wouldn't be a soul around. Or when she was at school, she had tutoring in Cathedral Close. So it was one of those things she'd say, "I'll take you and point out all the places I used to go to," and you know, all of that kind of thing. So getting to know Cathedral Close a bit more has been handy for me, obviously. I was going to be on my doorstep.
Of course,
because it's right there, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a beautiful part of the city. Yeah, I love a walking tour. I'm obsessed with doing, because like I said, I love being outside and I love activity, being active. So for me, combining those two things, so doing the daily walk during lockdown has actually been no problem. I could walk forever basically. So and I think looking up is it's so, with Norwich, all you have to do is look up and it's another world. There's so much beauty to be seen and wonder. It's great.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel really pleased that lots of people are discovering that, because, as you say, it's the only thing we're allowed to do. But for those of us that were already doing it, we're now getting to share it with a whole other set of people who probably would have driven somewhere in the past.
You were trailblazers, early adopters.
Yeah. Something like that. Anyway, but there are some amazing of these kind of fact sheets. You can either download them on the phone or print them out before you go, or do what I normally do, which is set out following one and then think, oh, that looks like a nice coffee shop over there. I think I'll divert in that direction, and then end up going somewhere completely different. The other wonderful thing that we've done, and we're really spoiled for these kind of places in Norfolk, is when our children were younger, we had several amazing Christmases, or sometimes after Christmas and New Year, with other families. So mostly sort of near the coast, but just renting a big house, and being able to, the kids will just, mucking in and playing together. So I'm really hoping that we're allowed to do that. We keep trying to rearrange it, but between uni and work and people moving, and in my case, people getting married and having babies, we haven't been able to do it yet, but maybe we'll be doing it with a whole generation of grandchildren in a few years.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. It's been quite the year for you, hasn't it then, really, with weddings, and now you're going to be grandparents and lockdown and a new pub. Even though it's sort of been lockdown, you've been quite busy, Brian.
Yeah, I have. I think there are positives from 2020, and that you've listed some of them.
Yeah.
So it's certainly not been filled with doom and gloom. We tend to try and be, optimistic people, try and look to the best of something. I mean, what else can you do, really? You just got to kind of look forward and appreciate what you've got, what's on your doorstep, what's free, what's easy to get to, and count the blessings, I suppose.
Absolutely, I think that's a really good way of looking at things. Thank you very much.
No, very lovely to talk to you both.
Thank you, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon. Meanwhile, take care and say hello to Nick for us.
Yes, and we look forward to getting out to the Red Lion. Obviously, I'd like to thank two websites that I sort of came across when I was having a look about famous Norfolk women. The first is the Norfolk Women in History.com website,
great.
Which is produced by the Norfolk Record Office, the Norfolk Library and Information Service, and the Norfolk Museums and Archaeological Service.
Fabulous.
It is it's a fabulous website, so you've got to check it out. It goes through a timeline.
Yeah, it's
of
a
all
great
the famous
resource,
women who were born in Norfolk or came to live in Norfolk.
Yeah.
And you can go through that and
there
have
are
a look.
so many interesting stories, aren't there?
Really is.
The purpose of the website, it says it's to promote and celebrate the role of that Norfolk women have played in the history of our county and beyond. So a perfect read for Women's History Month. While you were doing your research, and this ties in with something that Bryony was saying, we love it. We love a walk, don't we? We love a guided walk.
Yeah,
definitely. And not especially since it's pretty much all we can do at the moment.
Yeah.
And you found a fabulous one that ties in with what we've been speaking about, haven't you?
I did. Yeah, it's called the Women's History Walk Around Norwich.
Awesome. That's right up my street.
Couldn't believe it. I actually found it online. It was actually a PDF.
Yeah, so you can download the walk.
You can download the walk.
Nice, I like it.
I've got it here, printed off, ready to go.
We can attach the PDF link to our podcast listing on norfolkandgoodpodcast.co.uk. So if you're interested in downloading it for yourself, when you've listened to this, we'll put the link on there and you can have a look yourselves.
Yeah, probably the best place because I couldn't find the actual website that it was on.
Where did it come from?
It came from the Herstoria magazine. Actually, in the winter of 2009.
You don't know if it's still going.
No, but the actual walk is still there, so we'll give everybody.
Yeah, brilliant, and it takes you around Norwich. And have you had a look at it? And basically, sort of covers.
There's a map in there and everything, and it covers numerous people. It also covers sort of architecture as well.
Okay. Wow.
Which is kind of like feminine orientated as well, which is interesting.
Really interesting.
But yeah, it's a good few pages.
What a good thing to do this month. The Women's History Walk in Norwich.
28 stops.
Fabulous. Well, we're definitely going to do that, Andrew.
Well, definitely, yeah.
What a good
It'll
find.
be really interesting.
Well done.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that kind of links into what Bryony was.
It does, yep.
I have to send it to her.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will. We'll tell about this. So, as ever, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. You've probably got the impression that there is so much more that we could have packed in. I mean, if you have a look at NorfolkWomenHistory.com, it's just the amount of interesting Norfolk women. And these are the ones whose stories have been told. There's also so many women, like we jokingly mentioned, your mum and your sisters and my gran and her sisters and her mother before. And there are lots of women who live in Norfolk or born in Norfolk who have fantastic stories to tell that won't be told like these women. So it's really interesting, I think. If you have any comments or feedback about anything that we've spoken about today, do get in touch. You can contact us the usual way at enjoyingnorfolk.co.uk or also comment under one of our social media posts. Yeah, absolutely. We're always about on social media. We hope you've enjoyed listening to us. If you do listen to this podcast at Apple or Spotify or something like that, don't forget to subscribe so you know when the next episodes are out.
Yes. And
also maybe leave us a review if you enjoyed it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
If you didn't enjoy it, then we are a completely different podcast.
Yes.
Give them the poor reviews. Otherwise, we hope you stay well and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Yes, definitely. Bye-bye.